Hi, everybody. My name is John DePietro.
And I'm Bob Zagami with the Camper Report Show.
Bob, on today's Camper Report Show, you're going to get an update from the Do It Now tour, but also we are going to show you how you can save aggravation of driving around New York City and Baltimore and Washington by taking the Cape May Ferry. We did, and we're glad we did.
I've been on the Cape May Ferry with an RV, many years ago.
Yeah.
And I've got a great interview with Joel Letterman, who is one of the co-founders of Elevation Park Model Homes. And it's a new company in the park model industry, doing great things, and fun interview.
Great. So we'll have those interviews, plus all the news of the day from our friends at RV Business in Woodall's Campground Magazine, right here. Where, Bob?
At the Camper Report Show.
Stay with us, everyone. And welcome back to the Camper Report Show. This is the news segment. And Bob, let's get into all the news of the week because there's a whole bunch going on. Where do you want to start?
But before you get into the news of the week, let's get into the news about the Do It Now Tour 22 that you happened to be on and you left last Friday. Tell us a little bit about.
I happened
it feels like 2 weeks ago, right?
That's true. And the reason I know where I am is because of the RV Life Trip Wizard, because without it, I would not know where I am. And I'm not a techie guy. But with the beauty of the Trip Wizard is that every night at about 5 o'clock, it sends me my travel plans for the next day. It tells me where to go. It tells me how long it's going to take. It tells me how to get there. It tells me if I need gas or diesel fuel. And it gives me some comments about the park from other people, from other verified users that have been there. And I will tell you this, it is an absolutely phenomenal tool that I don't know where I would be without RV Life Trip Wizard.
It's got to be one of the most popular travel planning software packages for RVers. And it's right in the RV Life Pro app.
Yep.
They can download it. They can get a free trial on it. But certainly anybody that's on the road should be using it.
Yep. It tells you everything imaginable, stuff that I didn't even know existed. But the beauty of it is you can see the RV that we have behind me. It's 12 feet, 9 inches tall. And I can't take the same roads as a regular automobile can. So if I have Google Maps, they don't ask me how high I am. They don't ask me my height. They don't ask me my weight, but I get an RV safe route from the RV Trip Wizard.
Well, that's not 100% true, John. You could take the same roads as the cars. It's just that when you get to your destination, you'll be 10 feet 9 instead of 12 feet 9.
Right. And you know what? I don't want to have one of the first convertible RVs in the United States. I like the air conditioner up there. I like the satellite dish up there. I like the wine guard stuff. I like the skylights, etc. But we're having a great time on the Do It Now tour. And with that unit behind us, that Europa model from Dynamax, I am getting lots of looks at the gas station. And every time, just 15 minutes ago, some people finished a tour here. And they love it when they come in. And, there's so many other sponsors that we have to take that we'll thank with that. But those are the two that we'll talk about.
Well, if somebody's tuning in for the first time, John, tell them the reason for the tour and where you're going.
Well, the whole reason for the tour, we're going from Maine to Florida. And we got tired of hearing, just like my brother sent me an email the other day, CNN did a story about people canceling trips, gas, etc. Actually, that was the headline, but the story didn't bear it out. But the national media is basically negative on a lot of stuff, and they said people aren't going to go on vacation this year. I say you have to go on vacation this year because it's the only time that you can do it. So my wife and oldest granddaughter are with us, and we're traversing along I-95 with help from Sun Outdoors, with help from KOA, with help from RV Life Trip Wizard, with help from our friends at Campers Inn, with help from our friends at RV Business. and Easy
Easy
Care and
Woodall's.
Woodall's and
Yep.
the New England RV Dealers Association.
Yeah, can't forget that. Yeah.
Yep. And Dynamax, that is providing
Right.
the wheels. But let's look at the news, Bob, because there's a
Sure.
whole bunch going on. And one of the things that people are talking about is new ways that people are traveling this year and last year and next year as well. And HipCamp surveyed 25,000 campers. They had some very interesting results. Talk about some of those important.
Yeah, they and HipCamp has a lot more tenters than RVers in motorhomes and travel trailers, but those people are going to be RVers someday. Many of them will become RVers. The first one was the parents are out, parents and kids are out, the pets are in. Only 4.7% of the campers plan to get outside with their parents, while more than a third have plans to camp with a pet. So the pets go camping more than they wanted their parents to go camping. The one I thought was kind of interesting, but it does probably fit tenters more than it fits the RVers, although boondocking is, and off the grid is popular. But 2/3 of the campers, 62%, rank private land camping as a top outdoor destination.
Yep.
Because they want the remoteness. They want the privacy of that, where we tend to think of campers, traditional RVers, as being social
people.
Yeah, social
Right.
people that enjoy the campfire.
Yep.
So that was an interesting statistics.
Yep.
They also felt that the rising fuel costs did mean that more of them stay. 94% of those campers, it's going to impact their travel plans, and
which is 100% contrary to the report that our friend Scott Karn just did for RVIA, that very few, a small percentage of people were changing their plans because of gas pricing.
Yep.
So whether it's the RVers versus the tenters, who knows? But those reports contradict each other.
Yep. That's right. But that was a kind of an interesting study. It's good to see the other side of it versus what Scott Baer did for RVIA and what he does for the KOA North American Camping Report.
Yep, exactly.
Yep.
I call them Scott Carnes, but it's Carnes Consulting is the name of his company. So another interesting thing when we talk about tenting and RVing is the national parks. There are more and more people seeking admission to national parks, and so they have to plan further out. And our friend Kurt Rapanzik, who is the editor-in-chief of National Parks Traveler, has come out with a comprehensive guide about what facilities are at each park, so that you're not having to spend all your time going from one website to the other. He put all the national park camping information in one location. Talk about that.
Yeah, I haven't seen the book, but it's called The Essential RVing Guide to the National Parks, and it's 282 pages. It's quite a lengthy document, but one of the things that's important is they have information on 250 campgrounds that are in more than the 70 parks themselves. So a lot of the parks do have campgrounds, because with this time of year and the number of people traveling, we see it in private campgrounds too. You really have to try to make your reservations early. Some of them do not take reservations. Some do. Some go through Reserve America, which is a reservation service. But if you're going to be doing, and a lot of people kind of focused on state parks and national parks.
Yep.
So this is certainly something that you'd want to pick up.
Yep. We just did an interview with a couple yesterday. We haven't played it yet, but they have been to 42 state parks, but they plan 2 years out. So they know what they're doing now in 2024. So they had to plan for 2 years. Then they've been on the road visiting, and they're up to 42. And they are from Massachusetts.
Is that 42 parks in 42 states?
Well, it's 42 parks. Now, I don't know whether they're all in separate states, but they've been to Yellowstone, they've been to Yosemite, they've been to the Grand Canyon, and they're from Massachusetts, and they have been to Acadia. So that's nice to see.
We got that in there.
Well, look
at
especially with all the. Go ahead.
This book, The Essential RVing Guide
Yep.
to the National Parks, is an ebook, and it's only $9.95.
Yep.
So
And it's a good organization. It's a nonprofit organization, and
National Parks Traveler, right?
Yep. Very nice people. And speaking of national parks, let's go to private parks and talk about our friends at Sun Outdoors. In fact, I'm at a Sun Outdoors. I've been at Sun Outdoors facilities all week. There's 150 of them throughout the country, and they are providing discounts to people so they can either stay longer or be able to come the first time and visit a Sun Outdoors park, which are located all over the country.
Yeah, so you have to go to their website, and it's Sun Outdoors, and list under the category. There's a item on there called special offers, but the offers cover all stay types and consist of wide-ranging discounts all the way up to 30% off their stay at a Sun Outdoors resort across the USA and Ontario, Canada.
Yep, so exactly. And our friends at Blue Water are doing the same. When you stay 3 days, you get a discount. You stay 4 days, you get an extended discount. And, I've got their flyer around here somewhere, but they are cognizant of the fact that people are concerned with gas prices, and they want to make it possible for them to enjoy their vacation a little bit longer, maybe not as far away from home, but at least a little bit longer. And the final topic, when you are at a campground, one of the most annoying issues you can ever deal with, outside of the neighbor's dog barking at every dog that goes by, is a loud generator. And Honda, already known for one of the most quiet generators available, is coming out with one that is even more quiet.
Yeah, the EU 3000i has been one of the most popular the last 5 years, probably with RVers. And
speaking of dogs barking,
they even bark when they sit in your lap. What are you barking at? The new one is the Honda 3200i, more power, more convenience, and actually quieter than the other models. 3,200 watts of power, and if you get a chance to check them out, it's really something. I'm trying to find the 60. It'll boost up to 6,400 watts, and I can't find the quiet.
Well, it's powerful and quiet. That's all people need.
Powerful and quiet, and a small footprint. It's always a small footprint.
Yep.
And you can pigtail them together too. But check that out. It's got built-in Bluetooth connectivity also.
Great. So that is the news segment. We've got two great stories coming up right here. Where, Bob?
On the Camper Report Show.
Stay with us, everyone.
Mike here from RV Blogger. Don't waste hundreds of dollars on an external GPS for your RV. All you need to do is download the RV Life app right onto your phone. This app is so cool. It has RV GPS built right into it. So you can load all the specific measurements and weights for your RV. It'll give you directions safe for your RV to follow. And by the way, if you have RV Trip Wizard, directions for your trips upload into this GPS automatically.
All right, welcome back, everybody, to the Camper Report Show, and I'm very happy to have a friend and a knowledgeable RV person on the show today, Joel Letterman from Elevation Park Model Company. And Joel, you're not new to the business, but you're new to Elevation. You got your own company now. Tell us a little bit about your background, and then tell us about Elevation.
Sure. Well, hey, thanks for having me, Bob. You're too kind. But yeah, I'm pleased to be here with you. So, yes, this has been a very exciting year for myself and actually my partner, Brent Kataw. We've just been blessed. We're in an exciting time where we're seeing our industry, even in uncertain times, just continue to grow and expand. And we're just happy to be a part of it. Many people have been very gracious to us, whether it's dealers, vendors, even competitors. So we're having a blast. We're kind of carving out our own little place in the market here.
Well, I've always said that I thought park models, and I've had them for years and have been exposed to them for more years than I care to mention. But I always thought they're the best kept secret in the RV business. And knowing some dealers just don't want to carry them. It's a unique type of product. I wouldn't call it a niche product. I think it's disappointing that as an industry we sell less than 10,000. And people are always surprised when I do seminars and talk about park models. They're always surprised that it's that few. So tell us why you wanted to have your own company, and then your view of why park models are so important to our industry.
Sure. Well, I'll speak on the latter part of that first. I think what really excited me about this industry was just seeing the growing demand. I was at a well-respected manufacturer, and we just couldn't even touch the demand that was coming in. And so I'm seeing this as a growing market, even in, like I said, other facets of the RV industry are starting to taper a little bit, where park models, the demand is still going crazy. I think it's a combination of things. I mean, you can speak to this because you are a park model owner and you have that experience as well, but it's just a very unique product. It's much more of a residential construction. And even though, we fall under that RV umbrella, it's still such a neat product to build and represent. So I think the sky's the limit, not just on the camping side of things, but park models are so versatile, whether you want to talk about affordable housing or, year-round living in a warm climate, where people just feel that more of a house feel than a stick and tin or a fiberglass unit. So that's really what got me excited. I mean, to be honest, there could be 10 new park model manufacturers tomorrow and we still wouldn't touch the demand.
Yeah, so, and I agree, especially when we look at it from a non-traditional, because we do tend to look at park models as RVs. They are RVs legally in terms of government regulations. They cater to people that want destination camping, like myself. I'm up here at Old Orchard Beach, and this is home 6 months out of the year, and it's fantastic. But I think we're getting a lot more attention now from real estate investment trust and the surge in people looking to improve their campgrounds, add park models to their fleets, or build like the resort that I'm in up here in Maine, and you're familiar with Seacoast Resort. It's a park model only resort. And I think you're going to see more of these real estate investment companies as they understand the outdoor hospitality industry and the profit. And I think you're right. I mean, I think we're going to see a surge in park model construction and deliveries.
Yeah, well, I can already tell you, and just to what you said right there, since we've opened up, we've linked up with 2 developers that they're buying up campgrounds all over the country. And what we're seeing is they're almost transitioning to more of a resort mentality, where they're getting rid of transient sites and they want to lease the lot for the whole year, to a seasonal camper. So yeah, that's exciting. You're seeing whole, 400 or 500 unit campgrounds go strictly to park models. And so the demand is not going anywhere. In fact, it's only growing. So that's really what excited us about making this move, just knowing that there's a market out there to be had. And to be completely honest, I mean, unfortunately, we're turning business away right now. And other manufacturers are too, because we just can't keep up. So that's encouraging.
That's a nice problem to have, but it's also a challenge. So you came into this, you decided it was time for you and Brett to have your own company. What's going to make Elevation unique? This is a consumer show, so consumers that may not understand park models, what's going to be unique, and why should they be looking at Elevation?
You bet. No, that's a great question. I'll actually follow up to your previous a little bit about the market and park models in general, because you mentioned something that I thought was interesting about, it being an older mindset, or, park models have been around forever, but they haven't necessarily evolved. Well, one thing that Elevation is really trying to focus on is going after that younger crowd as well, and modernizing our units and just doing some little things that maybe attract a different crowd, a different clientele. But I think park models in general, the mindset is changing. You're getting younger families and not just the older crowd that's ready to, for lack of a better term, park it, and just be off the road. But yeah, so that's a challenge to us as well as other manufacturers of how do we evolve and get younger, but also provide new and exciting features in these park models that we haven't been able to. One thing I'll really say, that our biggest selling point, Bob, is that we are very different in the cabinet aspect. We are maybe one of the only manufacturers I know of around here that are buying in higher end residential grade cabinets instead of having our own cabinet shop. So one thing when I was at shows, I would see people come in and they open and close the doors and drawers. That's the first thing they do. So I thought to myself when I was at shows, okay, how can we separate ourselves? What's going to be that it factor that just says, okay, when you compare these side by side, we want to stand out. How can we do that? So we've had a great response. The product we're putting in these things is amazing. I mean, it's ball bearing slides, it's dovetailed drawer boxes, solid wood boxes, and it's just beautiful finished cabinets in and out. So that's one thing. The bigger thing I would say though is the culture we're creating here. And it goes back to our name too. Elevation kind of stemmed from, we want to do every aspect of this business better. We want to elevate the dealer experience, the customer experience, the product we're putting out. And so we've created a culture now with our employees that they take pride in what they're doing here. It's not just ours. They're a part of it and they feel that. So when you take it down to the employee level and you show them respect and you create a beautiful environment for them to work in, and you also just kind of treat them like family, what we find is that these people have stepped back and taken a hard look at their work and not just pushed it through. We're not trying to build as many as we can right off the bat, even though the orders are there. We want to build the best quality product. That way, when the market corrects or dealers have a choice again and they can pick and choose who they want to buy from, we want to be left standing because of our quality. So I would say that's been our focus, and the employees have been a huge part of that. But that's a difference here at Elevation, and people can sense that when they walk in the door. Giving tours, I encourage the employees to talk to the customers as they're walking through, tell them about their experience here, so they've got a pride level here that we haven't seen everywhere, I think.
That's fantastic. And that's what builds corporations. Where do you see, the market's a little bit challenged, the traditional market in terms of RVs, a little bit challenged now. We have inflation, we have high gas prices.
Sure.
But I don't see that having any impact on park model. I mean, none. Somebody will say, well, you're crazy, it's do this. I just don't see a downside to park model living right now.
Yeah, well, you're exactly right, Bob. And I think what you said about fuel and, all that stuff actually pushes more people our direction.
Right.
When you can drive to one site and spend a week or the weekend there, it's a much different program than hopping around from camp to camp. So, yeah, I think, we've even seen it with applicants walking through the door, as the regular travel trailer market starts to normalize a little bit, that only boosts us. So I think it's going to be a great thing all around for all the manufacturers and park models. So yeah, it's exciting. And like I said earlier, park models are so versatile that, you can put them on your land depending on zoning. You can put them in a campground. We're seeing whole parks in Florida and Arizona where year-round living, they want to spend 100, 150 on their house and ditch the $500,000 or $600,000 house. So that's what's exciting. I think seeing the progression and also where things can go from here.
Yeah, it's always interesting when I do seminars and I get to the park model segment of it, and people look at it and they don't understand them because most dealers don't have them. So they go to an RV show and all of a sudden they see one on display and they say, it's a house. No, it's not a house. But then you tell them that you could have, you could buy two of them for what you could buy a traditional house. And we could have one in Maine, we could have one in Florida, less than what you could have for a house in Maine or a house in Florida.
Sure.
And again, that's an area that I think is totally discoverable by many people in terms of how they're going to spend their money, especially with housing costs the way that they are.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I was going to say too, you mentioned some dealers not carrying them. I think park models are a different animal, so we're 12 wide, which throws a wrench into things. You have to have a driver and a truck and a setup crew. And so a lot of dealers that's not their game, but for the ones that are, and I think you're seeing more and more come around to that because it provides some diversity and also it's just a completely different clientele like we kind of touched on.
Well, and for a dealer standpoint, it's nice to have a product that differentiates yourself from the average RV dealer going down the street. And then with a new manufacturer that's got your culture and your experience. So it's not like you decided to be in the business and came into it green and decided to take a shot at it. You're industry veterans, you've paid your dues, and now you put your own stake in the ground and said, hey, I think we can do it different. We're going to do it different. And that's a great future for you guys and for all of your employees.
Yep. Well, yeah, I mean, my partner, Brent, he has been in the industry almost 20 years. I'm coming up on 7 here. And so we're still young, we're ambitious, and there's a lot in front of us here. But I think we had a lot of great mentors, and Brent knew the industry inside and out. He's been in multiple different positions, and as have I. So, it's just exciting. At the end of the day, I was having dealers that were encouraging us to do this, because obviously they're wanting to get product, get their hands on as much as possible. But it's just a fun. It's been a fun ride.
Well, that's great. Our guest this morning has been Joel Letterman, one of the co-founders of Elevation Park Model RVs. Any last comments for our fans, Joel? And I appreciate you very much taking time. I know you're busy. I know you can't make all your deliveries. You got more orders than you need, but you squeezed in a little bit of time for the Camper Report show. So I'm
honored, Bob. You've been a great friend, and we just appreciate you do a lot for the park model industry. So I want to say thank you. But no, to the people, I'd say, check out our website, elevationparkmodels.com. We're a new up and comer, and we're excited about what's going on here. You're always welcome at our facility. And thanks again for having me, Bob.
Thank you.
I'm Jesse from Outsiders Calling, and I love adventurous family travel with my wife Jenny and our son Tucker.
For over 3 years, we've RV'd across the U.S. and Mexico, and it's tough to find places that meet all our needs.
Now we plan our trips with the RV Trip Wizard, pull it up in the RV Life app, select it, and go.
It helps us discover amazing new places to grow together as a family.
RV Trip Wizard with the RV Life app is an awesome trip planning combination.
You can get both for one low annual price. Check out rvlife.com to learn more.
Hey everybody, we are in beautiful Cape May, New Jersey, and you'd have to be living under a rock if you haven't heard that fuel costs are the headline news these days. And we're talking here with Mike Porch from the Cape May, I want to say it right, Mike, Cape May, Lewes?
Lewes, like St. Louis.
Oh, okay, but nothing to do with St. Louis.
Correct.
So we're talking about really a multiple of things with Mike, in that you are a tourist attraction, if you will, but you're also a way to save money, time, and aggravation by not having to deal with the New Jersey Turnpike and the Delaware Bridge and I-95, et cetera, et cetera. Tell us about the service that you offer, Mike, in the cities that you're involved with.
Hey, John, thanks for giving me this opportunity to talk about the ferry. I love talking about the ferry. The ferry is a great way to travel. It's very relaxing. It's a scenic crossing, 17 miles across the Delaware Bay. You'll see historic lighthouses. You'll see shorebirds. It's one of the busiest shipping channels on the East Coast. So there's always some interesting commercial shipping traffic going through. If you're lucky, you might even see a dolphin. So it's really a great way to travel. I mean, as soon as you get on the boat and you feel the Delaware Bay breezes, it's like your vacation is starting all over again.
Right. But Mike, I want to stop you because I think before you get on the boat, you've got a marvelous welcome center and a snack bar, and I know you've got a full-service restaurant that's coming online. It's really, before you even get on the boat, the vacation has started, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
You know, I think we view both of our terminals in Cape May and in Lewes almost as tourist and hospitality centers. Most people who travel with us are on vacation, going to vacation, and we want to be part of that vacation holiday experience for people. And people want more amenities, so they want a good place to have a bite to eat,
a clean
have
place,
a beverage.
And the place was immaculate in there.
Thank you very much. We definitely pride ourselves on our cleanliness and also our safety and our customer service. I mean, for 10 consecutive years, we've won the TripAdvisor Certificate of Excellence.
Okay.
So we're very proud of that. We try to greet everybody like they're a member of the family.
Okay, so tell us about the, I don't want to say boats and I don't want to say ships, the vessels that we're using to traverse across the bay.
Here's the thing that's important to know. We can accommodate almost any vehicle, from a Class A to a fifth wheel RV, we can accommodate. As long as you're under 13 feet 6,
yep,
and as long as you're less width than 11 feet 8, we can accommodate you. I mean, our boats are 320 feet long and 68 feet wide. So they're very large vessels, and you know, we can accommodate. We say if you can drive it, we can carry it across the bay.
Okay, so when you're on the boat, I say it right?
Sure.
When you're on the boat, are people staying in their vehicles, or are they going into lounges and seated areas?
So we have a main salon that's directly above the car deck. And, we have comfortable seating in there. We have television. We have Wi-Fi on board. We also have a gift shop. And we have food and beverage. And particularly if you're traveling during the summer season, we have a great bar on the top deck called the Lido Bar, where you'll have a fabulous view and experience while having a nice adult beverage.
And for the late sailings, there's a midnight buffet, right, Mike?
Oh, absolutely. All you can eat.
Now, interesting, as soon as I hit record on this, the sun came out. So
it's a miracle.
The vacation is there. So if people, tell us the cities that you serve. Cape May is by itself is a destination point.
Cape May has, is the
Lots of
greatest
history,
collection
right?
of Victorian architecture in the United States. There was a fire in the late 19th century, burned almost the entire city to the ground. And so when it was rebuilt, it was all during the Victorian era. So it has all these fabulous Victorian homes, great shopping, some of the best dining in New Jersey. And on the other side of the bay, in Lewes and Rehoboth Beach, Lewes is the oldest city in Delaware. There's a lot of history there, and also great shopping, great dining. So really, they're almost like sister cities that the ferry links both areas. We also have, Cape May County right here has the largest number of campsites in New Jersey. There are 18,000 individual campsites within minutes of the ferry. And southern Delaware also has very large amount of campsites. And the great thing is, you're minutes from the beaches, boardwalk, restaurants, and other attractions.
Now, interestingly, Rehoboth is a town that I've heard of because we've taken this service before, but is in the news all the time now because the president summers there, right? Or at least hangs around there during the summer.
Yes, President Biden has a summer home in Rehoboth Beach,
which may add a little bit to the traffic, or maybe some detours if he's in town. But
I don't think he's staying at the local campsite.
He's not camping. Okay, nevertheless. But as far as when people make reservation online, right? And then they get here, and it seems like a pretty orderly process. That obviously it's not your first rodeo. How many sailings a day and during peak summer?
Yeah, so we have as many as 12 crossings each way, 12 from Lewes and 12 from Cape May during the peak summer season. So the boats are almost every hour departures in the summer. Our website is kept up to date. It's dynamic. CMLF.com, CapeMayLewesFerry.com. And there's also, we have a great page that's all about RVs. So any questions you might have, what you can carry, what you can't carry, any questions you have, we have extensive information, FAQs on our website.
Okay, so I think that once people try this for the first time, they're going to like it. I know my daughter went over this earlier this spring. They were going to a wedding down somewhere in Virginia, right? That's somewhere you'd go to Virginia, right? And she said, I'm tired of that Jersey Turnpike, Baltimore, Washington run.
Listen, if you're on vacation, you don't want to fight the I-95 traffic, the traffic jams, the beltway around Washington. This is a great way where you can stretch your legs, relax, get some rest. If you're traveling with the family, we're dog friendly also. You can walk around the boat, enjoy the scenic views, relax, have something to eat, have a beverage, and then get back and continue on your trip. So it really takes a lot of the stress out of travel. And for me, when I'm on vacation, I want to relax. I don't want to fight I-95 traffic. So we would love to welcome you aboard the Cape May Lewes Ferry.
Well, one thing I will say is that Garden State Parkway from Newark down to here is really been revitalized, and it's a super highway, so you're flying.
It's freshly
not like
paved.
a 2-lane road.
Very smooth,
right?
smooth
fact,
sailing.
They're even paving at 3 a.m.
Absolutely.
today. So anyway, so Mike, we want to thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're looking to save time, have some fun, extend your vacation, one of the outlets you may want to consider is the Cape May Lewes, just like Saint,
Ferry.
Thanks very much, John. I appreciate it.